Kuzangpula and welcome to Heart, the stories of us. This is your host Cheku. Today in this episode we have a very special guest for you, all the way from Bhutan, who is packed with talents. She wears many hats, I want to say. She's a blogger, she's a writer, she's a content creator, and guess what? She's also an actor.
Oh my god.
So I want to introduce to you guys the one and only Tshering Denkar, popularly known as Denkar's Getaway. So in today's episode, we will talk about her journey to what she is today, the struggles, the challenges, the success, because you have been listening to the stories she brings to you. You have been watching her blogs, and you have also read her book. But I'm sure since you are a big fan of Denkar's Getaway, I thought you deserve to know her story as well. So we will talk about her journey. We will get to discover her personal life story today. So, with our open hearts, heart to heart, would like to welcome Denkar's Getaway to our show today.
Wow, that was quite extensive introduction. Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to see you here in Australia, and me being here on Heart to Heart session. I think it means a lot for the invitation. So thank you so much. And I don't know what I can unravel new this episode, but I look forward to having a wonderful session.
Extensive introduction because you deserve more.
Come on.
More than that.
I'm very humbled. Thank you.
Okay. Before we just ask you about your life street journey,
Right.
because I wanted to take a piece of advice from you. All right.
Ooh.
You're a blogger.
Mm-hmm.
You're a writer.
Yes.
You're a content creator.
Right.
You're an actor.
Ooh. That's the latest addition in my
Okay.
career.
Tell us something you can't do so that we can pursue that.
Oh my god. Wait. I think I'm definitely jack of all trades, but master of none. There are things which I cannot do and perform. If there's one thing I cannot do at all, that should be swimming. So yeah, I'll give you that opportunity for you to skill.
I don't think I can do that.
Either, but yeah, I think swimming is one forte I cannot do at all, but rest I can at least be the jack.
All right. So there's no chance. I mean, apparently.
Right.
I'll take that.
But no, seriously, there are things which I can't do, but I only focus on things that I can actually do, like
Right.
blogging, content creating, writing. I feel like I have so much interest in these fields. Hence, I focus so much, and that's how people feel like, oh, she's like very good at it. I'm actually not, but I strive to be better in each and every field because I love it so much. So in that sense, there are things which I can't do and I can do
Right.
better.
Okay. Now, because I know you, we have been together as
Together?
I mean, like together in a sense.
We have known each other for
Yeah.
ages.
So
yes.
as a teacher back in Thailand.
Yes.
Back in 2012. So now, once a teacher and now a blogger and an actor.
Right.
So just wanted to ask this one: what inspired you to become a blogger right from teaching?
Oh my God, that's. I think that's one question I get often asked, and I'm sure you know as well. But for audience sake, 2012. That was almost like what 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost 30. Oh my God! So we have been friends for 13 years.
13 years.
So 13 years ago, when I went to Thailand as teacher, I did not know I was going to pursue this field of blogging. And suddenly, when I got this opportunity to teach at one of the prisons in Thailand, that's when I realized the freedom to be outside. Every time I entered in the prison to teach the prisoners, the inmates, they would always ask me, "Oh, Ajarn," meaning teacher.
Yeah.
"Oh, how's the world outside? have you been to Nakhon Sawan? Have you been to Hua Hin? Have you been to Chiang Rai? I come from that area. And that questions would always inspire me and rather instigate me to actually like go and really travel
Right.
and be that storyteller when I return for the next class. So over the weekends, I would travel. When I had long vacations, I would travel. And then when I got back to college, then when I go to teach them, that's how I would tell them that, oh, I've been to this place, like anyone from there. And then one time I saw like inmates literally like her eyes filled with tears saying like, oh, I actually come from that place.
All right.
So then that was, it would just give me goosebumps like every time I connected with the inmates there. And I think what brought us together was this narrative of storytelling. So that's when I was like, damn, like if I have the liberty to be outside and
Right.
be that person to actually tell stories, change the narrative, I felt that was the most powerful thing I could ever do. So ever since I started traveling, I was of course working there. Then eventually I decided to actually really delve into this field more.
Okay.
And then I returned home and then bam, Denkar's Getaway.
What about your masters? Because you also did your masters.
Yes. Yeah, I did my master's in tourism management. Hence, everything
Right.
for me, I think it aligns actually. But many people do not realize that things I do, they feel like, oh, things I do is out of my interest. Professionally, like my field of study is actually tourism management. So I did my master's in tourism management. And when I did my master's, I had to do my thesis. Lots of research, lots of reading, lots of literature, and literature from Bhutan travel industry was very minimal.
Right.
Right. And the books that I read about Bhutan, the literature I read about Bhutan were mostly written by expats. Imagine a tourist exploring Bhutan for 5 days, writing a book. So I was like, damn, I being Bhutanese should go back home and actually try to contribute to our tourism literature. But I did not know that time that I would become blogger. So after I returned home, that's when I had my crisis of what I literally had to go through that crisis of, oh my God, what do I do now? What do I do now? Because the reality was very different. I just got so lost. I had my face. People feel like, oh, Denkar's Getaway just became Denkar's Getaway overnight. No. I really had to go through that mental crisis where I was so lost. I was in anxiety. I did not know what to do. I was just waiting for life to surprise me. And gradually, I really felt like, oh, travel is my thingy. So that's when I started to travel, write a bit about places, people I was meeting. Then eventually, the travel blog got introduced to me. And that's when I was like, I think this is my forte. This is what I'm interested in.
Right.
So that's how I came to know my interest in travel industry by actually, once I returned home. So then, yeah, the journey began. And it never stopped.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that seems like a very, very interesting start.
But
I
you,
mean,
you have been there. I mean, I think
Yeah.
technically you have been part of this journey because you were one of the first one to witness this journey of me going out
Right.
and actually experiencing. So yeah.
Because what I was just thinking at the back of my mind is like when I mean anybody can start anything they want to, but I mean like in that point of time everybody goes through this
Same thing.
challenge, this breakthrough, and then because blogging, I think it was not really trendy, that
It
time
was
in
not
Bhutan.
trendy at all.
So I mean, I can recall a few bloggers who
Right.
were already doing that.
But on
So
Facebook.
yeah, on Facebook. So how did you know that this would be a success? I mean, just doing the things that's already in the market.
Right. Well, like you said, it was very new. When I started blogging, like there was no one who was taking blogging as their career.
Yeah.
So when I started, of course, I did not start thinking I would come this far. I thought, oh, I'll just give it a shot. I love taking risk. So I started like any other few vloggers in Bhutan. I would like post it on Facebook, post pictures. I did not start videography then because I did not know how to do with videos and stuff, and it wasn't trendy at all. So then I started to write, posted on Facebook. Then one time, I guess this is perks of being on Facebook. I got a message from one of the bloggers from abroad on
Right.
Instagram. So that person happened to ask me like, are you like blogger from Bhutan?" And that's when I was like, damn, I think this is how I should address myself. Like, honestly, when I started and when I started to travel, I did not know how to identify myself, like, professionally. I just knew, like, I was a traveler. I was a gypsy soul. I was just trying to make it so cool, like, sound cool, like, oh, gypsy soul, I'm a traveler. And then when this very person texted me saying like, "Oh, are you a blogger from Bhutan? I'm planning to come to Bhutan. I want to know more about Bhutan. What should I do?"
Right.
And that's when I was like, "Damn, you know what? Like, I should identify myself as blogger, and I should actually, like, give him advice and stuff." So I feel he was blessing in disguise for me,
Okay.
and it's like complete stranger. So he helped me to curate what I wanted to become, and I thank him genuinely for at least like getting me focused on this in this path of blogosphere. So I said next day, okay, I'm a blogger. And then I questioned myself. I asked myself, what do I do to validate me being a blogger? So then it was the website, right? So I had to stand out as blogger. And then I noticed those vloggers who were already there, they were very huge on Facebook. They did not have websites. They were they were involved in other careers. Then I was like, if I want to be a blogger, I must have a website. So that's when I created www.denkarsgetaway.com, and I was shit broke that time. It was my sister who invested a few dollars just to buy the domain and stuff. So yeah, so first thing was I identified myself as blogger, and then I got my own domain website, and then I was very serious with writing. So it wasn't a mere Facebook status of his Facebook post. It was extensive writing about this place, at least like 300 to 500 words. So I would write, I would post it on my website, and that was how I started as a blogger. And then eventually the videography was becoming popular. So then, yeah, then later on I realized I needed more audience to know what I was doing. So of course people were reading my post, but I wanted to capture other people who were actually watching videos as well.
Right.
So then I started to video log, and then ultimately I had like young people following me, people who were like very much on social media. So I had readers and I had people who loved visuals as well. So then together, then it became like vlogger and
Right.
blogger both. So yeah, it's been amazing journey.
All right. I'll come back to that one. But firstly, I just
Right.
wanted to ask you that one because, like you said, like you were not, you were financially not doing well when you started this one.
Yes. I
And
was
then,
very broke.
yeah, and then the fact that Bhutan doesn't have much literature
Right.
on the on our on our stuff around, like the places.
very sad,
Yeah,
very
it's
sad.
places. We have like so many important landmarks.
Yes, and we promote Bhutan as
Exactly.
the high-end destination in the world. And sadly, if you read literature, it's like no, it's only
not many.
few
There's not
agencies who
much.
are promoting. So it's
They're mostly written by the foreigners.
yes, and travel agents whose websites are pretty much similar to each other.
Right.
So it's like mostly duplication of websites. So nothing interesting.
So now, when you had to present this new content to the people, then without going out into the field, you
Right.
can't get this content right because there's not literature. So how did you manage this one? Okay, because we don't have much literature,
Literature, no.
right? And then the fact that you needed to bring this new content, new ideas to the Bhutanese, to your
Right,
audience,
right.
I'm sure it needed an extensive travel research.
Yes.
And of course, when you have to travel, when you have to research,
Right.
you always need a lot of money as well.
Time and money, yes.
Yeah. How did you manage all this?
Well, as a Bhutanese, to travel as Bhutanese within Bhutan is not as expensive as traveling as a tourist from abroad, right? And when I initially started, I really had to compromise. And like you said, to create content, I had to travel a lot, extensively within Bhutan, and I was like being very economical. Of course, my sister, my mom and dad, they were there. Like they have always been super supportive of my journey. Very thankful for them. So yeah, they were always there. but at least like, within my side, I wasn't making money out of traveling. So the least I could do was couch surfing, asking people like, "Oh, are you there? You know, like, can I stay with you?" And even if there were hotels, people were not convinced of who I was. If I wanted to collab that time,
Right.
then hotels would ask me, "Who are you? What can you provide us in return?" And back then, I guess I had just about like 5K followers, and nobody believed in me, especially the business entities. I had no collaborations until like third year, I guess. So yeah, I couch surfed, I hitchhiked, but in general, Bhutanese are very kind, very kind. I remember traveling all the way from Bumthang back to Thimphu free of cost, hitchhiked, a stranger, not only giving me a ride, but also buying me food and
Wow.
in between asking me like, oh, what do you do? And then I shared him the whole story of what I was actually doing and how lost I was feeling, trying to, like do something. And I remember that person giving me pocket money, like at the end, like, oh yeah, chada
Wow.
chika no, chigodo. And I'm like, no, truly, like when I look back now, I'm like, damn, I think I'm very lucky. I must have done something in my previous life that
So,
now when I
yeah.
pursue this, is like the whole universe is actually coming to help me out to get this thing done. So it's been very hard, but not that hard.
Right.
Like people would have thought. But initially, yeah, financially it was very challenging.
Okay.
But I got it done because it
Right.
was Bhutan.
Yeah.
Had it been elsewhere, I don't think I would have been able to travel extensively. But it was Bhutan. But it was
Yes.
Bhutanese people.
Can't
They
agree.
came and yeah, got
Can't
these
agree
things
more.
going.
Can't agree more. What
Yes.
about the reach? What about your audience? Because I think around that time, social media, of course, it was picking up
Yes.
among the users. But I mean, the social media literacy in Bhutan is like very minimal at the
Yes.
moment because it's just mostly among youth and an educated lot. But so what I'm trying to say is because our we have large number of population in the rural pockets
Yes.
of Bhutan who don't have access to internet, who don't have access to smartphones.
Right.
So how were you able to transition
Right.
through this one?
Well, when I started, like you said, because I was in Thailand and because I was posting like fancy pictures,
Okay.
I remember when you returned home, it was more than 5K, definitely 5K. And like you said, of course, not everyone is accessible to social media platform, and even now. But I think it took me time to actually grow on social media. Had I been elsewhere, for example, in India, if you start YouTubing from India, you go big
Yes,
instantly.
instantly.
Whereas, like, even now, I have about like 25K YouTube subscribers after good 6 years. It's such a shame, but I'm getting there. At least I'm getting there. It is very challenging to have more social media followings, but then again, if you put out good contents, relatable contents, then I feel it's very easy to actually generate more followers.
Right.
So now, last time when I had conversation with one of the IT firm in Bhutan, Ignore, they're very good with data and
Yes.
statistics, and they were like, "Hey, congratulations!" I was like, "Wait, why?" And I believe they did some stats where
Okay.
they ranked like influencers, and they said like, "You actually, sorry." And they said like you Denkar's Getaway actually has intergenerational followers, meaning my followers comprises of people from all ages, like from young to old. So that was the biggest, I think, achievement.
Right.
I must say that I should be rejoicing, and I am actually rejoicing. So yeah, it's not that difficult, but the secret is to put out good content. If you put out, I'm not saying I put out like really good contents, but I try to at least like put out relatable content, travel content, pilgrimages, rinpoches, lamas. You just need to hit that soft corner of every
Yeah.
viewers. So yeah, in that way, it takes time, but you get there.
All
Yeah.
right. Um, just getting I mean, going a step back. Initially, when you started, you said like you did not have much opportunity for collaborations with the
Yes.
businesses, and now that you have,
Don't say
I
that.
mean,
Yeah. And this is better.
exactly,
It's way better.
exactly. So now that you have achieved a lot
Right.
in this field, what I mean?
Now I have choices to say yes and no. No, seriously, like when I started, like I remember like emailing especially the hotels and resorts, like, can I have a room? Like in return, I'll promote. But now things are different. Like perhaps it's not because of me, but my social media followings. They want publicity, they want promotion, they want marketing, and now I receive messages from business entities saying like, "Hey, can we collaborate?" And now then it's up to me whether I want to do this or not collaborate, right?
Right.
So things are different now. Things are different, and I credit this to my hard work, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I rejoice that
Yes,
big
I
time.
get it.
Yes.
I mean, I guess also, have you received this collab? I mean, whatever phone calls,
I mean, the
texts
biggest
from.
collab was from National Geographic to work with Will Smith.
I'm
So
coming to
it's
that.
like,
I'm coming there. Sorry for. I
that's all
mean,
right.
just
I just dropped the
yeah.
mic.
Well, I mean, as a blogger,
Mm-hmm.
I am sure there are not a place in Bhutan that you have not traveled.
Oh,
You have
there.
traveled to the valleys, crossed the rivers, mountains, and like
Mm.
you have reached everywhere. So, in this journey so far,
Okay.
what has been the most inspiring
Ooh, that's a very
incident
difficult question.
for you?
Oh my God, that's a very difficult question. Often people ask me which
Yeah,
one's your favorite,
exactly.
but inspiring, it's
Yes.
like, oh, very difficult. But no, but before I delve into this, I've not actually been to one Zongkak.
Oh, all
Pema
right.
Pema Gatsel.
That's where from.
Wow, really?
How can you do that?
Exactly. Oh no. Seriously, no, actually, my plan before coming to Australia was to cover Pema Gatsel. So 2025 for me was going to be covering 20 Zongkak. Unfortunately, I had to come here and then it's there. But I'm going to make it like after I return to Bhutan. I'm so sorry. I don't know why Pema Gatsel, but yeah. But anyways, coming back to your question, what inspires me? Which place inspired me,
Yeah,
huh?
because I think like from many of the posts that you made, that one particular episode where you climbed the mountains, trekking the snow, I found that very, I mean, inspiring.
Which one?
To
The
other,
Gankar Pinsum?
yes,
No, I don't want to be biased. It's like every place brings different essence. It inspires you in very different way,
right,
very different
true,
way.
true,
And yeah, and when you travel, you meet people, and people tend to inspire you. It
yeah,
just leaves a footprint in your heart. But one place, it's always that always gives me goosebump, and I want to go back. Is a place called Dawaka.
ah,
It's
all right,
somewhere you have to hike from Dobjizong,
right, yeah,
and that place is very special because it's of course a pilgrim site as well, but that place really taught me to cherish that presentness. I remember that evening, nobody, literally, like it's in the forest, like it's in the forest, and there's a small temple there with the caretaker, and I had my friend Nomad, yak herder, who was just like herding his yak
yeah,
across that area. So he was the one who told me, "Oh, madam, if you want to come, there's this sacred day. You should come and visit." So I hiked there. Then I let Kencho know. Kencho and caretaker was there, and I was there as well. So they made this hot stone bath for me. They had their turn first, and then later, with due respect, they were like, "Okay, madam, you enjoy. It's your evening." So then I was like, "It's so dramatic. I wish I could show you all the visual. It's so dramatic. There was this bathtub. Oh my gosh, like vapors fuming up, right? And it was peak winter. It was
right,
winter. Then I was like, okay, nobody's there. I knew there was only two human, and they were in the room like around Bukhari. So then I was like, oh my god, I got myself in the top, and then of course I had one pint of beer. There was this beer. Then I looked up, and the moment I got, it was so dramatic that after like few seconds of me getting in the tub, it started to snow. It
wow,
started to snow, and it was so beautiful, like literally like snowflakes coming from the trees and stuff.
yeah,
And at that moment, I think I was most mindful at that very moment. I was like, I wasn't when I think now, I wasn't thinking about anything. I was so present that I was like, damn, this is what I want in life. It was so beautiful and very dramatic. So that point of time, I realized how important it is to rejoice presentness, just to be present, not let your monkey minds like loiter around. That was very special,
Right.
very special.
Okay, so when it comes to your content, because in order for you to just reach out to the audiences,
Right.
in order for you to, just grow daily, you have to also put up a lot of diverse contents, right? So when it
Yes.
comes to content, how do you choose, or what determines what sort of content you need to bring it to the audience?
Oh, okay. So now, as a travel blogger, my main priority is travel. So I found my niche. It's not like I do everything at one go. Like I don't do lifestyle today, tomorrow food. No, my because I come from travel background and my niche there. So then, it's always the travel content, and sometimes I know people get tired of seeing travel content. So in between, I try to bring out most authentic contents as much as possible, as a human first, blogger second,
Yeah.
then as a daughter. So then now my content is so diverse that I bring my parents on board. Like my parents are there. And the reason why I bring my parents on board on social media is because I'm very close to them. And having many Bhutanese diasporas living abroad, I also feel it's my duty to let people, or at least remind people that, hey, you have your parents. Sometimes it's important to show love and care to your parents. Because me living in Bhutan, I see and I meet many parents whose children are living abroad, and they get no time and attention from the children.
Yeah,
So then when I put out contents with my parents, that's when I feel I remind people. And yeah, so it's my parents' contents, it's my contents, it's travel, it's the people's content. So my contents are mostly people-driven content, and that's why I think I get more followers, because people can relate
Right.
to it.
Yes. Yes.
And I
True.
try to keep it very authentic. I'm totally, absolutely myself on contents. Besides, I mean, so there are some things which I don't show, but whatever I show, it's very authentic. And I think that has got me this far. People love authenticity.
Right.
People love human stories.
Totally
So
agree.
yeah, so these are the contents I put up
Right.
mostly.
All
Yeah,
right.
but I don't plan. Like you said, I do plan, but I do plan. But if I bump into contents which I think that, oh, this is very interesting, so I just like go. I just like put it on, because
Okay.
I don't have manager. I don't have admin. It's like all me myself. So if I feel that, oh, this is something I want on my platform, it's like I shamelessly put it there. And sometimes it's like it's like I have to control myself from not posting, because I don't want to overboard people with my feeds. So yeah.
Yeah, I think what you said is very true. I mean, relevancy. That I think it really matters.
Right.
Like one of the many things that Bhutan gets known to the outside world is through blogging, and then I'm sure that blogging has taken Bhutan to the next level. Introduced Bhutan to the next level, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, you have been traveling extensively outside,
Yes.
right? And has been so much fundamental in promoting Bhutan, its product.
At least
But
I try to.
yes, but among that, the one very special that I feel is your collab with National Geography with Will Smith.
That was the biggest thing ever. What are you
How
talking about?
how did it happen?
Oh yeah, I need to. No, nobody knows how it happened. They just know like, oh, it happened. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So yeah, so I receive email, right? As a blogger, I think I've gone global in like within. Is that I never thought like, oh, I would be in this platform,
Yeah.
that platform, and suddenly I receive opportunities as big as my life, and I'm like, damn, this is hot. So yeah, one time I received email. Just before that, I had BBC email, and they wanted to know about Bhutan, and that they came to know about from my website, and I was like, oh, okay, so that was gone. But Will Smith's thing, it was very discreet, very discreet. I received email from Nitopia, which is another huge production company in UK, and they said like, oh, we are in collaboration with National Geography to produce one documentary. Then I was like, okay, it must be a scam. I mean, who would get in touch for me, right? For National Geography, when like the travel industry in Bhutan do not endorse me. There are agencies, huge agencies in Bhutan. They don't
Yeah.
endorse me as someone who's promoting Bhutan. They feel like, oh, she's just pursuing her passion in Bhutan as a traveler. So yeah, so that's there. And then suddenly I received this email. I'm like, no way, that's not from this. And then, but then again, I'm someone who thinks twice, and I'm like, wait, let me give it a shot as well. It could be true. Then it was true. It was true that it was National Geography, and they wanted to know more about Bhutan and da 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 da. And then after a few conversation back and forth, they said we actually have one celebrity who's going to be featured on this. Then I was like, which celebrity? And they said it's Hollywood. And I was like, is that Bear Grylls? Because he does
Yes,
lots of travels
yes,
and
yes.
adventure, and Bhutan was one of the list. I was like, damn, if that's him, I would faint, right? So then they said, no, it's not. But I had to sign my NDAs and stuff. But now I think the words are out, so it should be fine. So then after a few conversations, then the day arrived when I was going to know who I was going to get featured with. And then they said, like, oh, it's this. Who? Then they said, it's Will Smith. I was like, no way, it's not Will Smith. He's huge, he's a
know.
global
Yeah,
icon.
yeah.
He's huge. I'm like, damn, no way, I'm dreaming. They said, Denkar, breathe, it's Will Smith. I was like, oh my God. That was the biggest thing ever. Biggest thing ever. So when I started blogging, I did not know I would go that far. But it's through internet, it's through social media, it's through blogging, it's through all my writing. It's not like agencies recommended me. Oh, no, then I asked them, oh, who recommended me? How did you get in touch with me? And the agent said they actually found travel website, and they wanted to have a travel blogger on board. And then, damn, Denkar's Getaway was there. And so technically, they found me on social media, on my website. So that's how I got this golden opportunity. I don't think I'll ever get the biggest opportunity, hence, but this has
You
to
never
be,
know.
yeah. I mean, if I
Yeah.
do, like,
Yeah.
I'll be very happy. But so far, this has been the biggest highlight of my career.
So, how's been the experience?
Oh.
Featuring with Will Smith, the Will Smith.
I know, right? I literally get goosebumps talking about it, but I've not really extensively spoken about this.
Yeah.
I cannot actually about what we have done, like the work.
Yeah.
But personally, he was very kind. I mean, he's a huge superstar, right?
Right.
Huge superstar. But one thing I learned from him was to listen. He's a great listener.
Right.
Like he would just ask question, and we like for us, like for me personally, I'm always seeking to ask next question, whereas he's a great listener. He listens to you, he looks at you, and it's like you feel that this person is actually this person is listening to you. So for me, working with Will Smith, I realized he's a great listener and very humble.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. So, you're full-time blogging, right? Traveling. And suddenly there's this bombshell, a book.
Right. That was the hottest thing, and that was another hottest thing I produced.
So, what I'm trying to say is, I think like writing needs no, I shouldn't say completely, but
Right.
it requires different skills, right?
Yes.
So from being a full-time blogger and then suddenly, transitioning. I mean, I shouldn't say transitioning because you were doing this hand to hand, right?
It's evolving,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
It's evolving.
So how did this happen? I mean, like, did you when you
Right.
started
Actually
traveling,
writing, right?
traveling,
Right, right.
traveling? So you earlier mentioned about the literature.
Yes.
There's like very few.
Yes.
So did you think about this writing? Was this
Book.
in your plan?
No,
Or it
not the
just
book.
happened?
Not the book. I saw myself becoming an anthropologist in blogosphere, in travel industry at least, but never thought I would write a book. But this idea came to me during the pandemic. So COVID was blessing for me. I was locked up in my house like for a month, and I live alone. I've always lived alone. And then suddenly I was like, damn, how do I make this time more effective? I'm someone who respects my own time. I respect myself so much. So then I was like, how do I make this time more effective? Then the book, I had that book thing in my mind blurly, but I did not know it was going to come that soon. So then COVID hit and I was jobless. I didn't know what to do. Then I had the perfect time to actually compile all
Yeah.
my blogs and stuff. You don't really need much skills to write a book because when I was in high school, I would always feel like, oh, you must be very good in writing to be an author. But I realized being there, I think it's good. Like if you're a risk taker, if you have stories, if you have narratives, then it's easier to actually produce a book. So I came up with this idea to publish book because I felt, what if there's no social media?
Yeah.
What if my website suddenly like gets turned off? You know what I mean? Then how do I identify myself? So just to validate me as a blogger and also to add physical content around our vicinity. So that's when I was like, okay, it's going to be the book. So The Tourist Within came out, and that was one of the best-selling book. And yeah,
You're always one step ahead of your own plans.
yeah. I mean, I guess it's like I told you earlier. I'm constantly thinking. I look very peaceful, but I'm constantly thinking, oh, how do I evolve? How do I evolve? Because I can't get invalid within few years. I want to be here. Like
Okay.
I want to have this household name. Like, oh, this girl existed. You know what I mean? So then constantly I'm thinking, I'm hustling, I'm thinking, and it tires me. But what keeps me going is the traveling.
Right.
I'm like literally everywhere to be.
So your book, The Tourist Within, is, I guess it's a collection of, so
Yes.
I haven't read that one
Wow,
yet.
thank you. That's such an insult.
No, of
Wait,
course
did you
not.
did you call me on your show just to tell me you did
No,
not
no,
read
no.
my book?
I am looking forward to, but I mean, because I have been here in Australia for
Right,
like
right.
3 years now, and
Yes.
then you know how life is here, right? So
Okay, please read my book.
I will definitely. So I'm just coming to that one, right? So I guess it's just collection. It's a
Of-
collection
yes.
of your travel logs, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. So
But it's an extensive.
extensive one.
Yeah.
All right. So what about your next book? Are you planning already?
I am planning. I mean, with public demand. Wow, this sounds so fancy. But yeah, no, I've actually run out of my book. I guess I just have like 5 copies at my home back in Bhutan. So I really want to do the second edition, but I'm waiting for the Will Smith project to come out. So that's when I want to title my book "From the Mountains to the Hollywood." Oh my God, that sounds so fancy. But no, this is what I
that's-
want. I'm working on my second book
Oh,
already.
so that's going to be your final
Yes.
title of the book.
Yes, that is what I aspire to. I make it happen.
Wow. Looking forward to. Looking forward.
I hope you read my second edition
I
of
will.
the book, though.
I will definitely. I will. Now, because I think you said like that's been one of the
The biggest highlight yet.
yes, and then what I get to hear and then see from what people I mean the writers
Right.
post on social media is that I mean in Bhutan, due to the poor readership and the availability of books from authors that side, you can't make a living out of writing. What do you think about that? Do you think, I mean, after you have successfully launched your
Right.
first book, do you think you can make
I
this?
think I can. I think it totally depends on how you market and it depends on who you are as well. But for me, I think I've made my living. I bought the fanciest truck after selling the book. I mean, I got my car
Wow.
after selling my book. So that's the achievement. No, I've not really invested wisely, but I think for me, I've invested wisely. As a traveler, I need good car. So then I've invested there. But then again, when it comes to book, it is very challenging. Readership, it's less. But for me, I've taken advantage because of my social media following and because I've been very adamant and I've aggressively marketed my book, literally selling my face value. It is challenging, but it's not like you can't do it. It's not impossible to make a living.
I don't have words to express that.
Yeah. You should write a book and see it for yourself.
I don't think
Life
it's...
in Australia. It could be life in Australia.
I think it's worth trying,
Yeah.
actually.
Exactly.
Right.
From being the fanciest BBS anchor to being...
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
right.
Okay, I'm going back to your life journey. So
Right.
I think, I mean, you have been so busy
Yeah.
traveling,
Yes.
writing,
Yes.
promoting your, I mean, collaborating, content creation, and suddenly now acting. What is this?
That's something which I never thought I would be. I don't know. I land up at places where I never saw, like, I would never foresee myself. And every year, every next day, I'm like adding some feather on my hat. So, yeah, acting lately has been the latest addition in my journey. That's why now people identify me back to being Tshering Denkar. But if people ever ask me, Denkar's Getaway or Tshering Denkar, hands down, I'm gonna stick with Denkar's Getaway. But yeah, as an actor now, I think I'm like Tshering Denkar. Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. Very interesting.
I
Very
know, I know.
interesting.
I mean, because you said earlier that you constantly look for development, yourself
Yes.
progress.
Yes.
So I was just trying to think, is it because of this one that you took this step, or is there's a story behind this one?
Well, like I said, I was never ready to join like the whole film fraternity, and I cringe when people say, "Oh, you're a celebrity." I'm like, I'm not. Like, please don't identify me as
Of
celebrity.
course you are.
I'm very humbled, but really, yeah, yeah, never saw myself acting. But Charmi Chedda, who's the director,
Yes.
she was the one who actually bought me on film, and she said, while writing story, I actually manifested you. It was like whole time it was you, you. So she said, I want no one but you. And I was like, oh my God, as much as that's a complimentary, I did fear that I may not do good in acting. But for me, if I sign up for something, if I commit for something, I'll give 101%.
Right.
So, yeah, I said yes to the film. The story was very interesting. And another reason I signed up was I had the liberty to speak English. So it's more Zonglish.
Right.
So for this film, in this film with Love from Bhutan, we are very, we don't have that fancy zonka like ngagi chaluga chada jikten da da da. No, it's very conversational,
Natural.
very natural.
Right.
The other zonka is natural as well, but this is very conversational,
Okay.
very understandable, very basic, I must say. And at the same time, we have like English languages as well. So in that way, I felt like, oh, I think I should. I'll be very comfortable. So I signed up for it, and now we have this film with Love from Bhutan.
And besides language, I think the way you portray yourself, the way you craft yourself
Right.
in what you do, because of course I think it's the camera is
Yeah,
not
I'm
a
not
problem,
trained.
not a
Yeah.
problem for you, right?
Yes.
But while travel blogging, then you have to deal with facts mostly, right? But
Yes.
when it comes to films, I mean, I know it depends on the story, but I mean, you have to act, you have to
You have to obey.
yes, put yourself
Yes.
into that person,
Exactly.
right? So
It's difficult.
yes.
Yeah.
So
It's difficult. It seems like you know it already. As a traveler, I have the liberty to do what I want,
True.
eat what I want, direct myself, right? Like everything is in accordance to what I want. So I get to become the boss lady myself. Suddenly I'm on a film set. I have director. I have like assistant producer. I have like my makeup makeup girl. I have like my costume, and people are literally like looking at me, trying to get the best version of what they want in me. So then initially it was very uncomfortable for me because I'm not used to getting directed and getting conditioned. So in film industry, you're very conditioned to present what director has in his or her mind, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in Denkar's Getaway, it's like, oh, this is like my life, like I just go with whatever I want. So it's been very different experience, but I think I've landed up learning a lot
right.
from this film, having to work with huge production team, amazing people. It has definitely enhanced my networking opportunity. Now I have huge respect for artists, actors, actresses, behind the scene individuals,
Right.
because I've seen their hard work, and it's been very challenging.
All right.
Yeah.
As much as your the title of the film is different, it's with Love from
Bhutan.
Bhutan.
It's souvenir from Bhutan.
Yeah. So one thing you said is unique about this film is the language,
Yes.
how the language has been used.
Mhm.
What are the other unique features that the audience can get to watch?
Denkar's Getaway is there. Her
Mm-hmm.
first film. So yeah, with Love from Bhutan, it's very different, I must say, because the story is very relatable to Bhutanese
Right.
diaspora, especially living abroad.
Oh,
Yes, that's why we came to
okay.
Australia. We have not screened this film in Bhutan. So we had our global premiere at India
Yeah.
International Film Festival. So that was huge. Our movie was one of the first to be screened there, and the people there received it with huge love and support. And then directly from that screening, we brought it here in Australia because the film is very relatable to the Australian Bhutanese living abroad, and also because there's huge support I heard and we know from Bhutanese living abroad. Because I guess movie is one platform that brings together the community. So yeah, in celebrating Love from Bhutan, we got this as souvenir this February to Australia. So yeah, I'm only looking forward for people to support. In fact, they have been very supportive. Like the producer of LNB, they have been very supportive, and there are people who have showered me much love, very unexpected love and support. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that, and I only look forward for more people to come and watch the film.
I'm sure are people out there who are watching this show. I'm sure they will come watch your show because it is by the Bhutanese for the Bhutanese. Especially, I mean,
Yes.
since you said it's very relatable
To
to people
Bhutanese
living
living
here.
abroad.
I think
It's a
we must.
big
Yeah,
homecoming movie.
yeah.
It's yeah.
I think every one of us should go watch this film. When is it and where is it premiering? By the way.
We are premiering in Modoc University on
Alright.
the 1st and 2nd. So it's a big premiere, and I have huge tasks. So
Okay.
I've been working tirelessly the moment I arrived here.
So will there be walk-in tickets as well?
Yes, I'll be walking. But
Oh,
for
okay.
now, we are physically. I'm literally like going around meeting people. I think it has given me opportunity to also meet Bhutanese folks here in Perth. So I'm physically selling them, selling the tickets. We have online booking, and we're also accepting walk-in. I'm just worried we don't get overbooked.
But you should
This
be
is
happy
my
about it, right?
wildest imagination, but yeah, very hopeful.
So the people so far, your audience, your fans, they have just seen that version of you who tells stories
Right.
about places, pilgrim places, you know.
It's
What
going to be very
yeah,
different.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You know, that's what I'm saying. So,
Right.
what is the best thing of yourself that people will get to see in this film?
Oh my God, Denka crying like baby. I think this film really discovered like the nook and cranny. I think this film really discovers and also shows Denkar's Getaway like never before on
Right.
emotion level. I remember crying for like whole time while shooting this movie. It's very intense, very intense. So I was just jokingly telling people like, you must come with tissue to watch this movie. It will get you there. It's yeah. It's a classic family genre movie, so you have to come and watch it yourself. I can't reveal the whole story here.
Of course, I will.
Yeah.
I can't wait to. I can't wait to.
I hope people genuinely love it.
All right. So many things happening in your life.
I know.
In the shortest span of life.
I'm so tired right now. Like, I'm literally burned out. My energy level after coming to Australia, I'm running on negative fuel right now. I just need to rest. I need to rest after my first and second premiere.
Because I think we started together in Thailand,
Yes.
and I'm stuck here permanently.
You're not stuck here.
I'm
You
stuck-
chose to come here, darling.
I'm stuck here, and then whereas you have been just explosive.
I have been everywhere but nowhere to belong. That's for your next
Well,
podcast.
that's food for thought. Uh, so from blogging, writing,
Right.
acting, content creating, you have done, I mean, like just I can't name it. You've done a lot, you know. So among them, if you had to choose one, what could they be?
Blogging,
Blogging.
undoubtedly.
All right.
Blogging, it's less chaotic. Unlike vlogging is you do videos and stuff.
Right.
Blogging is you just go to the place, you explore, you write, you just write, and there's peace in there. You know what I mean? When you write, you seek this solitude. You're like in that place. You write, you experience. You're very mindful. So blogging, undoubtedly blogging. I would want to be known as blogger for life
I think you're already known by that name, right?
until I die. Like I said, the shelf life, it's like, ooh, there are so many
Yeah.
content creators, but there are so many content creators in Bhutan, upcoming content creators, but not
True,
many bloggers.
true.
So, yeah.
True. I'm coming to that as well.
Okay.
So I mean, like when it comes to content creating, like you just rightly pointed out, right?
Right.
That there's so many of them out there, and with the TikTok,
It's
app,
crazy. It's
with the
crazy.
TikTok app, it's like
Unimaginable.
exactly that's what I'm saying. While TikTok has given people a lot of opportunities, it has
Yes.
also shown the dark side of it
Yes.
if you don't use it wisely, right? As a professional content creator, as a professional blogger,
Right.
what is your, what is your fear about these things?
To be consumed.
Okay.
To be consumed. Like you said, TikTok is becoming very big. I was never a fan of TikTok before, but I got into TikTok because it just became undeniable, invincible. I had to be there because I was very curious of, what's happening in this world. So then I landed up in TikTok, and it's very toxic. As much as many benefits as
Yeah.
we reap, it's more toxic, I feel, than reaping benefits. And my fear being there is the fear of getting consumed. So now what I do, I just use it. When I need it, I use it. I exploit this platform thoroughly. Like I exploit this platform, but I don't let this platform consume me. I don't want to be consumed for like 5-6 hours watching this platform. No. My only fear is things might consume me, say, but I think I know how not to be how not to get consumed. So yeah, I just try to use it. I use it. Facebook, I use it. Insta, I use it. TikTok, I use it. I use it to the point where I feel like, okay, I've used this. And if I feel like, oh, I'm getting consumed, if I feel like, oh, I'm getting consumed by this, that's when I try to detox, and I'm like, bam, I come back to my normal self. Yeah. Getting consumed is my fear.
Right. I am sure. I think it would be right. It would be appropriate if you say a few words on the the kind of content that we see on TikTok today.
Very personal. Very. I mean, there's a very thin line between personal life and private life for me because I pretty much show everything. But sometimes people get, I think, some contents are too personal. It's like, I don't want to see you sleeping with your husband and doing some lip sync song. Doesn't make sense. Keep that private, you know? So my fear, and also the thing I tell young people every time I go around to meet them, is you really have to know what content to put out there. Reap the benefit of social media, but don't get consumed, don't get exploited because of this platform.
Right.
So yeah, so it's very tricky, very scary, very scary. But now that I'm out there on social media, I'm left with no choice.
Yeah.
I make my bread and butter using social media. And the only thing I seek in solace is only thing I seek sometimes is the freedom
Right.
to detox. And it has become very difficult for me. I'm not able to detox myself from social media. And that's something I seek big time.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think, as a blogger, because that you have to be there. Your presence is must out there.
It's like you get that FOMO thing. It's like, what if I'm missing
Yes,
something?
true.
But I guess that's something to do with mental thing and stuff. But it's very challenging for me. I don't know about the rest, But that's something which is very challenging and scary.
One thing I always wanted to ask you is because I hear these comments, people making comments, talking that, oh, this is Denkar's getaway. She gets to go everywhere, anywhere she likes, like, oh, I love her life.
Right.
I want to be her,
Right.
What can you say on this?
I've had people walk up to me and say the same, and I tell them, "Oh, don't even wish to be me. Like, just work on being the better version of yourself. Just identify what you're interested in me, in you. But you can never be me. You know what I mean? Like, even if someone aspires to be Denkar's getaway, they can never be one because in some places it could be different. So never, never, never. And like you said, yes, my life looks very glamorous. I get to travel to places I want to go to. I get to stay at the shittiest place to the best hotels or resorts in Bhutan and beyond. It's very beautiful on screen. I'm not saying it's very bad off screen as well, but people don't see the journey that I have to take while getting there. It's very difficult. I'm hustling every day. I sleep late. That's something my mom complains about. I sleep late, I mingle, I have to network because I have to get to a place where I want to go. I have to have people supporting me, right? So then I take time networking. I have to hustle a lot. I have to make money at the same time because it doesn't come free of cost. Like I have to spend while traveling, right? So then in order to make that money, then I have to work. So I work so hard and people don't see that side of me. I'm like working my ass off and then people just see this beautiful side of Denka's Insta posts and stuff. So things are very different. I don't show everything that needs to be shown because some things are left to be unseen, unspoken, unheard of. So yeah, I constantly keep working hard. I'm always hustling, and I do have a point where I'm too burned out, and that's when I hibernate. I stay home. I sleep like pig for 24 hours, 48 hours. I'm home. I don't chat with anyone. I don't talk with anyone. My mother knows that. She knows I'm burned out. So she lets me be at my own space. And that's when nobody gets to check on me. So that's when I take time to sort of regain and heal myself and have all the energy to go out and about.
Right. And with the thought about growing bigger, getting bigger each day, do you, because I mean, like, for now, I believe
Wow, this podcast is getting tougher now. Okay.
because you have traveled far and wide in Bhutan,
Right.
right? I think like we also got to see you, in Canberra. I think it was in
Oh
Canberra.
yeah, I was in
Yeah.
Canberra.
So you did a few blogs there.
Yes.
So I mean, is it your long-term goal, like to explore Australia or something like that, or maybe like for that matter, any outside country?
Well, for now, no, but you can never say no.
Exactly.
You can never say never, right? I'm very unpredictable. I believe it's like every morning I wake up to surprises. So if you all see me in Afghanistan someday, don't be surprised. I could be anywhere, literally anywhere. Why only Australia? I could be elsewhere, like anywhere on this planet. So it's not like I'm obliged to be in country I'm born in.
Yeah.
I could be tourist. I could be tourist within as well as beyond. So I'm very open to opportunities because at the end of the day, I have to make my own bread and butter. So to like earn this bread and butter, whatever it takes for me to keep my passion alive, I have to keep my passion alive. So whatever it takes, I'm just ready to explore opportunities.
Right.
But yeah, Canberra I was there because my husband is there, my sister's there, so I have my cousins and my whole fam bam there. So yeah, I've been like in and out. And now I'm in Perth and I'm again traveling to other states. So yeah, I could be anywhere, any given time.
Do you plan to relocate to Australia? Maybe like because your husband is here, and then like
Yes. That's been honestly that's been one thing I'm trying to ignore to talk about. Even with him, every time I mean, we have like we have come through like long way being in distance relationship. Like he's here, I'm in Bhutan, but one thing that keeps us going is we're both busy. I'm busy, he's busy working, I'm busy traveling, and then every time we have this serious moment where we talk about our future, what's happening, we have to locate at one place at one point. You know, it's
Yes.
either Australia or it's either Bhutan, and that's when I ignore him big time. It's very hard on us.
Right.
I'm almost coming to my midlife crisis, I feel. Crossroad. I'm at crossroad where I don't know where I should be living now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to you earlier behind the camera, but just before we started the show. So I hope you'll find a way up there, just you know, where you are able to balance these
Right,
things. So
right.
yeah,
But I can't be like traveling back and forth,
yeah,
back and
exactly.
forth every single time. So yeah, we are still talking through it, and I don't know. Let's see.
Let's
I'll
see.
probably save it for next podcast.
Next episode with you, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so as we come to the end, I'm sure our listeners out there, especially the aspiring bloggers, aspiring writers,
Right.
I'm sure that because you have traveled to schools around,
Yes.
promoting your book, and I'm sure that people want to write, people want to explore, people want to do blogging. So, what is that one piece of advice that you want to give it to them?
Just give it a go.
Okay.
You wouldn't know. Sometimes I think we overthink too much. Like, should I not? What if? So when you have this doubt on yourself, then there's no way you can get things done. Like, you have to trust yourself so much, love yourself, respect your skill. Like, you have to have so much faith in yourself that rest should not matter. Like, if you don't love yourself enough, if you don't trust yourself enough, who will?
Yeah.
And for me, I market myself so much, so much. And I tell people, I promote myself, I market myself, I flaunt myself, because no one but myself can do this. Because I know my strength, I know my weakness, so I know how to play myself, right? So it's always you, You have to be bold enough, you have to be confident, you have to love yourself, you have to trust yourself, and you have to know and realize that nothing is possible. You have to give it a go. If it fails, so be it. At least you give it you gave it a shot, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, you have to just go about it and like just do it. If it works, good for you. If it doesn't, there's always another chance, or you get another opportunity. So yeah, life is full of surprises.
Yes.
Surprises.
And with this note, that was an amazing,
Pretty intense.
amazing
Very
an
intense, heart to heart.
conversation with Denkar's Getaway. Denkar, we know that you're here to premiere your movie. You're very
Yes.
busy going around, and then we are very thankful.
Thank you. Thank you. Truly, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and LNB for inviting me as one of your guests. My movie screening soon, so this is the biggest support I've always wanted, and here we are. So thank you so much for hosting and being amazing host. It's been amazing connecting you heart to heart after 13 years. Yeah.
All right, with this note, guys, we come to the end of yet another intense and inspiring episode of Heart to Heart, the stories of us. So basically, what we do is we bring to you these kind of stories so that you get inspiration to move on, try new things, to be a better version of you. So that's our main aim. And not to forget that Denkar's Getaway is here to premiere her movie, and the information about the movie and the premiere. I mean,
Follow Denkar's Getaway.
follow Denkar's Getaway. You will get every information, every word of information from Denkar's Getaway. So keep in touch, and since this is a movie which we can relate to, I think we need to support this beautiful lady out here.
Thank you so much.
Yes, until next time, this is another wrap from Heart to Heart, the stories of us. See you then. Take care and keep tuning in. But please don't forget to subscribe and follow us. Subscribe on YouTube, and also
On Facebook.
follow us on TikTok as well. See you.
How about Facebook? Instagram? Follow us there.
Of course.